mean, I think like listening to your customer is the most important part, right, of running any business, especially when you're doing consumer goods, right? Understanding what they're demanding, what they like, what they don't like, what they're ready for, what's the next thing. I think we're the first, and I think we are still really the only in home care that is non-toxic. Now, when we say non-toxic, we formulate our formulas using international best practices and standards. So every single ingredient that we use, we check against an international database that has already tested, hey, is this safe for humans and the environment, right? The second piece is that we believe in transparency. So we actually list all of our ingredients, which is something no competitor, especially in home care, does. And that's globally, not just within Kenya. So we really are doing something really unique actually in the space. Our formulations are quite different, and we find that there is enough interest and demand, especially as people are having, different health concerns, skin concerns, etc. People are looking for a safer alternative as we're becoming more aware about the environmental toxins or things that can affect our health overall, right? So I think even in Nairobi, we've kind of seen people, going through working out more, right? Maybe being more health conscious about their diet. And so we do feel like, sort of home care, personal care products is the next thing. People will start to question and demand better quality products for them to use. Our goal, frankly, would be to increase our volumes big enough, even by accessing other markets, such that our economies of scale could allow us to change pricing or come up with new formulations, right, that only scale can help unlock. At the moment, yes, we are a premium kind of AB level product. We do have a couple of products, though, that are extremely long lasting and extremely cost effective, okay? But what that means is that you need the cash to kind of buy it today. But for example, our dish soap will last a family of 5 about 6 weeks. So I challenge you to name any mass market product that promises to last that long for that ultimate price. But yeah, listen, our goal would of course be to reduce the toxin burden on Kenya and the world, frankly, by the use of safer products. It can also look like a little bit more thought leadership, right? So why are we still allowing substandard products in the market? It could also look like returning back to basics, right? So especially in Kenya, there's been a long tradition of soap making, and you will find people still make their own sabuni, right? They make their own soap. And so for us, it's a little bit about raising the conversation about safer products, even if those aren't my target consumers. How do we increase consciousness about the need to have something safer for themselves, their family, and the environment? Yeah, I mean, telling anybody, the acknowledgement or recognition of that some products are not good for us is not super front of mind right now. But the more you engage or you talk to, especially users of the products, you will hear common things. My fingernails fell off. My skin hurts. I'm coughing, right? People feel these initial effects, right? And so it really is, how do you continue to show that some of those examples just really mean that it's a continual exposure, right? There's another opportunity. So Grounded, we also have a sub brand that's our baby line, right? I think especially when people are having children, they're really kind of reevaluating some of the choices of what they bring into the home. So how do we also tap into some of those communities at that time, in hopes that it will become, of course, a lifelong transition, not just when you have children. But yeah, no, I think we could use a lot more consumer education broadly, and that's on behalf of Grounded, but really overall thought leadership, I think, is needed to make sure we're not allowing substandard products, that really harm us, right, and harm the environment into the market. So we are very proudly, of course, still based in Kenya. Most of our sales are in Kenya. We are seeing a lot of growth, however, in Tanzania. We were recently in Uganda, and we've also been in Rwanda for a few years, right? So we are building out and taking advantage of our East African community here. But yeah, as we grow, we're looking to a few markets, that could be ready for Grounded, or maybe are more mature in their understanding of non-toxic products. That could look like GCC, or like the Gulf region, could look like Europe, although that's quite full, right? There's a lot of brands in that space. We are still doing something super, super unique. So we still think there's an opportunity for a premium African brand in some of those other markets. What are the strategies that are winning? I mean, I think listening to your customer is the most important part, right, of running any business, especially when you're doing consumer goods, right? Understanding what they're demanding, what they like, what they don't like, what they're ready for, what's the next thing. That's part of the reason we now have like 50 products, right, is because consumers have asked us, by building a brand that people trust, now people are like, well, what about this? What about, they want more things. What's a little bit unique is typically in consumer goods, you would never see the same brand on like a toilet cleaner as you would a body bar, right? And we've decided to challenge that notion by saying when you buy Grounded, you are buying the same value set, right, that you can trust across a variety of different types of categories. So that's also helped us, I think, to gain more trust in the sense that customers will buy maybe one thing to try. Then they realize, oh, okay, well now I can try the dish soap or the laundry. And so you kind of really deepen that brand loyalty. I also think by working with more local community members, whether that's on, marketing, social media, thought leadership, you start to just really open up those conversations in a way that an imported brand would not be doing, right? Really trying to ingrain it within kind of Kenyan consciousness and consumerism. Yeah, again, I think we're just proud to now be in, we started in our SQ ourselves, right? We moved to a smaller facility up here in Kikuyu. We moved into this facility about almost 3 years ago now. So just the scale that's been able to come with also now employing more people. So we're up to about 30 full-time employees. Like I mentioned, about 80% youth, 60% women, which is very unique, especially in manufacturing. The 50 products themselves, right? The over 80 retail outlets that we supply into across the country. We're just very proud by some of those KPIs. But for us, it's really about the volumes that we're selling, knowing that that's actually taking plastic out of the environment, right? That is biodegradable products that are safer for our soils and waterways, especially in Nairobi. How many foaming rivers do you see, right? Knowing it. And then most importantly, at the end of the day, people now have a choice for safer products for themselves and their family. That's the milestone. Yeah, nice. I think like our supply chain is so important to us, right? And so it's been nice to kind of grow in collaboration with some of our suppliers. So for example, most of the oils we use are also food grade oils, right? That you would see in the supermarket and you can buy that to cook with it, right? But by having B2B partnerships or relationships, we're now able to complement those revenue streams for them by being a predictable off-taker, right, as we grow. And that I think helps shores up, every business wants diversified income streams, right? So that's been really exciting. Other partnerships, like on marketing, like I mentioned, working with a couple of doctors, other influencers, thought leaders, so that we're not really that focused about buy Grounded. It's why. Like, why do non-toxic products matter? Whether you're making them yourself, whether you're buying Grounded, etc. And then of course, like our retail partners and business partners as well, right? So, working with some of those retailers to make sure that we're creating the opportunity to show that it's gonna work, right? We're not just another mass market product, but there is room to grow. We've grown much faster than the category has overall in some of those major retailers, right? So we're showing that, hey, there's opportunity here as well. But it takes a village, right? I mentioned even where we're located for our factory, we've got a fresh water supplier next door. Greenspoon is one of our largest retail partners. They're also right next door. We have one of our organic waste off-takers up the road. It's really nice to also be in a little bit of a manufacturing community where we're all somehow supporting it and growing each other. We have not yet, but we would be open to that. No, we're very active members of CAM, so whether that's in looking at standards development, women in manufacturing, etc., like we're pretty involved with CAM, and as well as like the American Chamber of Commerce, a couple of other associations, but as I'm aware, I don't think we've ever received an award, no. We love product development, we love staying ahead of trends. There's maybe two that I could speak to kind of quickly. One is that, especially during COVID, we launched a new product we call Instant Disinfectant, which is actually like it's a very, very popular but global high standard product. So it's Kenya's only non-alcohol based sanitizer, for example. That is like a premium product coming out of Japan, used in the Middle East, used in America. So this idea that, we don't have to be behind the times, right? Like Kenya also deserves some of the more cutting edge technologies, right? And safe products. Maybe another innovation was specifically around our packaging being 100% recycled plastic. It wasn't only finding the availability of the material in Kenya, but also working with plastic manufacturers to use it, right? There was very little incentive really to use, recycled plastic is more expensive, right? Like, why would we do that when we can make virgin plastic? So it was a little bit kind of, again, bringing some of those partners together, right, to help achieve some bigger innovations and milestones, right, to kind of keep us cutting edge. Yeah. Okay, there's two things I would say to that. Number one is that there are partnerships available. So for example, we partner with Mr. Green Africa, right, which has depots around many petrol stations around the country, really. So in partnership with them, they're also the supplier for the raw materials to make our plastic. So we are able to track how much is kind of coming back through them. Our packaging is also pretty unique, right, and not off the shelf, right, so it's easier to trace kind of that it's ours. But I would say one of the other paradigm shifts that I would recommend is also considering any sort of upside for using recycled material, which as of now, there is no incentive to do so, right? So if we're trying to make the sector more sustainable is the goal, right? Part of that maybe is also taking plastic back out of the environment, right, by using recycled materials. Ooh, good question. I don't know. I hope to see more premium kind of Kenyan products playing in the space and not only relying on imported products across beauty, across personal care, even in our own sector. Like, it would be great to see more people kind of catching on and trying to build more, sustainable manufacturing businesses in Africa, especially in Kenya. And then I do think actually we'll be at the position as a sector overall that, exporting quality premium products is possible from this region, right? Which I think traditionally we've undersold ourselves in the ability to do so, but we are just so blessed with being so close to quality agricultural outputs that allow us to make, some really, really amazing products. Okay, but you know what I would tell that consumer is that when you are buying grounded, you are buying a peace of mind that this is safe, effective, and non-toxic, that is worth your health, your family's health, and the health and the environment of Kenya, right? Our products range from as little as 40 shillings for some small items, right, all the way up to we make 25 liters large items for businesses, right? So that range is not that helpful, right, in terms of there is quite a wide variety. But I would also just encourage, as I would be explaining grounded to any customer, to really think about concentration and value for money, right? So often, especially when we have a lot of filler ingredients that are diluting your products, it doesn't matter what the shelf price is, it matters how long it lasts you, right? So really considering long-lasting products that aren't adding unnecessary fillers or dangerous ingredients is actually worth it at the end of the day, especially when they last you a long time. So I'll explain to you a couple of our best-selling products. This is our foaming hand soap, which is powered by pure soap, which we call Kenyan Castile soap, made from locally grown oils. We also now boost it with baobab oil and a few essential oils for natural fragrance. This hand wash, 500 mils, will last 500 hand washes, and we sell them available in refills as well. One of our other best-selling products are our laundry powders. So these are powered by 100% coconut-based soap flakes that we grind down into a fine powder. Also boosted with Magadi soda ash, soda bicarbonate, and sodium percarbonate to help boost some of the cleaning properties. We don't use any optical brighteners or any synthetic fragrances or perfumes, just 100% natural ingredients and fragrances. Available here in lavender for our baby line or in lavender and geranium for our normal line. So here we have our alcohol-free instant disinfectant, which is my personal favorite product. You can use it on anything to kill microbes in about 3 seconds or less, unlike bleach and some other disinfectants that require 6 to 12 minutes of contact time. This one is so safe you can also use it directly on your fruit and vegetables to make it last longer by killing any of the mold that may come in. A great multi-purpose product. Another one of our favorites is our fruit and vegetable wash, which is extremely concentrated. Just 2 drops is all you need to wash a whole bowl of vegetables or fruit to help remove any of the dirt, wax, pesticides that are coming in from some of our produce. This is also powered by 100% pure soap, which is that Kenyan Castile soap that we are known for making. Yeah, great. Firstly, we do have an e-commerce website, so you can find our full range directly online at www.grounded.co.ke. But we are, like I mentioned, in about 80 retail outlets, so that includes Carrefour, Chandarana, Nivus, hopefully soon, Quick Mart, a few other tier ones, online retailers as well. You can also check out our website for our full, list of retail partners, as everyone carries a different thing. Good Life, for example, will have our baby range products and some of our sensitive skin products. So it depends on what you are looking for, but we promise we're trying to get products in the most accessible way to anyone who wants them in Kenya, whether that's online or in store.